All right, we finally got the 4.2 version 3 changes, and let me just crack open this Waterloo blackberry lemonade for any of you curious, because there's a lot. I did quick little check on a couple different things, and we have a lot. We have changes to Evanessia. We have complete changes for Silver Wolf 9s and her light cone. Currently at this point, I have not seen anything in regards to Evanessia's light cone, but we're just going to go ahead and start, and we are going to start with Evanessia's kit changes. So on the left hand side is going to be all of the minor changes. Let me move everything over. All the left is going to be the original items, and then everything on the right is going to be changed. So the basic attack, the name is the only thing that changed. The skill, we can see that the damage numbers have changed from 480 to 300, 240 to 150, but she is going to be gaining 5 additional punchline. I do think that is very good. Moving over to the ultimate, we just have name change and we have damage changes, so a little less damage from the ultimate and from the skill inherently, so that's that is that. The talent has changed name, and then now after the certified banger gained through this method, through the crit damage and all of that, when she accumulates certified banger, she can't exceed 100. Now we can see here that after accumulating 240 energy, she consumes that energy accumulated amount, and Master Fox launches follow-up attack, dealing physical damage equal to 100% of her attack to all enemies, regenerating 10 energy for Evanessia. That's pretty big. And that also tells us that she has a summon. So couple the summon with her wanting crit damage, Sunday Havers have just been absolutely elated. Maybe the best support for Evanessia, we'll see. Now we can see down here, upon using the ultimate at that given point, the damage number is increased. Then randomly attacked by the ultimate a enemy, the ultimate is going to be dealing elation damage. Takes into account the amount of certified banger at least equal to the max energy, and then you also have the Master Fox's follow-up attack. So far we have that she's able to gain more punchline from her skill, and then her talent, her inherent talent, is that she is gonna have a summon. And now how she's going to get that summon out in the field, I don't know yet, but we'll get there. But it is going to be a summon, so that is very, very big. We can see here that the technique, elation skill, trace 1, it is just name changes from the Fox teacher to the Master Fox. Very good. Now here we go, Eidolons. So E1 went from all type pen to crit damage by 36. Oh my god, E1 is busted. I thought E1 over here was really good. I mean, E2 was stupid good, but here this is just ridiculous. Crit damage increased by 36%, and it just changes the name to Master Fox from Fox Master, granting an additional certified banger for Evanessia, which is absolutely ridiculous. E2, okay, so the all type res pen went from E1 to E2, and still 20%. We can see there. Then when teammates whose participate ID is lower than Evanessia's gain certified banger, or when a teammate's certified banger ends, Evanessia additionally gains 50% or 50% of her own certified banger. Wow, so she's just boosting her own certified banger. Holy moly. And then E6 is where all of this really changed. The duration of her certified banger increases by 1 turn. Elation damage dealt by Evanessia's Merry Makers increases by 15% for every 10 points of certified banger possessed. So essentially like her Fox stuff. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going over Evanessia and Silver Wolf, and we'll go over Silver Wolf's light gun before we go over her kit. But Evanessia is an absolute winner so far in V3. Like, yeah, her damage numbers are a little bit lower, but holy dude, having a summon being able to further increase the amount of energy you're able to get so you can get your ultimate off a little bit quicker. Yeah, busted. Okay, Evanessia is a big winner. Again, we're not going over it. Okay, this is big because we're okay. Hold on, let me drink this because this is gonna be absolutely crazy. You can read right now. Let me go ahead and get a little consumption. That's good. So you can see here we have gone from a complete shift from attack based DPS to speed, and that actually relates into her kit. I did look at that. So we're, like I said, we're just throwing out the attack percent and we are focusing on speed. So I'm not even going to look at the left hand side because we got to look on the right hand side. So it's basically a completely different kit. So the speed is going to be increased by 18%. That already tells you she's going to be focused on speed. Next, the elation damage dealt is going to ignore 20% of the target's defense. Just the elation damage. So once you get into the hot instant, boom, 20% defense. I'm just ignoring that. Then when you use the ultimate on yourself, you are going to gain 20 punchline. Another huge aspect, because the more punchline you get, the more damage you're able to do in your hot instant for all the characters, which is crazy. It can only trigger up to one time and will be reset after using the basic attack 3 times. Honestly, that second part, after ignoring the enemy's defense with the 20% elation damage, like the first part is already bonkers stupid good. The second part is just a little, icing on the cake, but yeah, it's crazy. So moving on up, let's go to her actual kit change, because you can see here there's a lot. All right, so basic attack, name change. Now the bonus stage. The name change went from Esteemed Wolf mode to Wolf Instant. You are going to be doing increased imaginary damage, which is really good. And they changed the name from Premium Supply Mastery to Top Loot Box. And the amount of triggers went up to 3 instances. And then down over here, you can see that the enhanced basic attack cannot recover skill points. It's very important to note that. And for every 60 points of hidden MMR, increases damage dealt during the enhanced basic attack by 15% of the original damage, stacking up to 2 times. Now, you can see here that it says for every 60 points of hidden MMR. They changed the hidden ranking name to hidden MMR. I think it's pretty cool, a little more of a gaming centric focus. Am I moving over properly? I am. So now, again, like everything pretty much changed, which is crazy. The skill is you are just going to be gaining 5 punchline again, same amount of points, same damage percent, all of that. The ultimate has changed the name from activate to on now, and the name of the invincible player has changed to God mode player, which is, I mean, that sounds a lot cooler. And we can see, let's jump down over here. So top loot box, deal imaginary elation damage equal to 90% split evenly among all enemies, and randomly trigger one of the following effects. Obviously the main 3 effects. We can see here that one of them has changed from kaboom, or from bombastic egg bong to kaboom explosion. You can possibly recover 2 skill points, which is very good. Funky munch bean, gain 3 punchline. So that's all the same. You were just going to be doing equal damage among all enemies now, instead of just equal to 34% to all enemies, and randomly, just the 34%, you're jumping up to 90%, which is huge. Again, all of this stuff we can see here is changed. The biggest thing though is split evenly among all enemies. That's the biggest thing to take into account. Now the talent, another big aspect change here is that we are actually going from 80 hidden ranking points to 60 hidden MMR. Again, the name change is practically the same thing, but the fact that we're jumping down from 80 to 60, I think is a huge bonus. And the maximum overflow that you can achieve is by an additional 240 points instead of 80 points. So you can essentially have 4 ultimates just ready to rock and roll, which is incredible. That's huge value. Now, another big thing here is for each point of hidden MMR, increases crit rate by 30%. After crit rate increases to 100%, each remaining point of hidden MMR switches to increase crit damage by 0.6%. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a new best DPS in the game. This is crazy. It doesn't even... So the key point here that I think a lot of people need to understand, as I'm starting to get choked up because I'm starting to get teary-eyed by how great she's going to be. This doesn't state that you have to reach that 100% with the hidden MMR. If you reach close to or at 100% with your builds, with your relics, your light cone, and your... or not the light cone actually, with your relics and your ornaments, then all of that excess, which you hopefully will get less, you know, amount to that crit rate, it will just all overflow into crit damage, and there's no cap on it. So, and while you're in the god mode, she's going to be immune to crowd debuffs, where you get that. Her crit damage increases by 0%. I think that's going to be cut out. You cannot use her ultimate. And gains enhanced basic attack and enhanced elation skill. After completing using the enhanced basic attack 3 times, she exits god mode, and after exiting god mode state, hidden MMR is cleared. That doesn't matter. The biggest thing so far is right here. This is huge. That is so big. So now her summon, you instead just, you know, the whole about beefing up the premium supply box. The elation damage dealt in this instant takes into account a fixed amount of non-certified banger points. So like a fixed amount of just certified banger. That's fine. That's great. Whatever. Again, split evenly. So essentially the same thing as the ultimate. Now, jumping over to the elation skill. This is somewhat important. You are actually losing 5 of the hidden MMR points. That's fine. That's not a real big deal. And what the actual damage is going to be doing now, instead of doing 200% of elation damage to all enemies, you're going to be doing 6 instances of damage, with each instance dealing 90% of elation damage to a random enemy. So if you just multiply that 6 times 90, if there's just one enemy, right, then you are doing 540% of elation damage to one enemy. That is so much more than the 200%, which is stupid again. Moving over to the traces, we can see right here, this is where like the thing comes into effect now, is that we are moving away from the attack based DPS, and now we are moving to speed. If your speed is 150 or higher, it's going to increase the elation by this unit by 30%. For every 1 speed exceeded, it's going to be increasing the elation by an additional 2% over that 150. That is the benchmark threshold. Up to a max of 200 excess speed can be taken into account for this effect. You're not going to be able to get to that, like, because you want to focus not only on speed, but you want to focus on crit rate to get the most out of that crit damage buff from her talent. And jumping down here to the other trace is when the aha instance is triggered now, is when using your elation skill, the number of punchline points taken into account for this elation skill reach 20 or 40, you're going to be just gaining additional hidden MMR points. That's good because you want to be in your ultimate state as much as possible. We're going to be having speed increase. That is very good. The crit damage increase is taken out. Honestly, that's kind of whatever. Now, the other part that I'm also very curious about, because I do want to E2 this character. So during your enhanced basic attack, damage taken by enemy targets is going to be increased by 20%. Like, she needs that? Okay. And then once you leave your god mode player, the hidden MMR will not be cleared, but will have 20% of hidden MMR retained instead. That is freaking massive. Being able to retain as much MMR as possible is stupid good. And we can see we have a massive E2 change as well. So now after entering the god mode state, all buffs on this unit are extended by 1 turn. In the current god mode state, for every 120 points of hidden MMR, it's going to increased Silver Wolf level 9s gains 1 extra turn and regains 1 use. Oh my god. So if you are able to fully maximize your hidden MMR, and let's say because the max you can hold is, or overflow is 240, right? And you get into the state at 60 and you just hold and wait until you get to that 240. You're like not leaving that state. Oh my god. She's busted. E4. Elation damage. Honkai damage demo. Punchline points. Yeah. E6 now. Elation damage dealt by top loot box, which is the third option. Merrymakers by 40%. When enemy targets enter combat, they are inflicted with absolute weakness. Okay, so the absolute weakness came from E2 over here. Okay, that makes sense. Oh my god, dude. Silver Wolf, both of them won. Both of them are so good and cracked. Holy, okay, I gotta get this video up.